evening and you're welcome to my live stream. Sorry I'm doing this a little bit late, so if you joined me, you're welcome. And I will be sharing with you on my live stream abbreviations in pattern drafting and sewing. So I will show you abbreviations in pattern drafting and sewing. So if you are watching this, thank you for joining me. And if you're wanting to watch this later, you can also still watch it in full. So I'm going to go straight to the point now so that we'll be able to achieve something. So I'm going to break down this into three. I'll break it down into pattern layout, that is when I'm drafting pattern, because I got a lot of questions whenever I drop tutorials and they asked what are the abbreviations, what are the meaning of the abbreviations on this pattern, and that gave me the inspiration on how me coming live and talking about this. So I decided to divide this work into three layers, and I'll be using this pattern, this busybody block, as example wherever there's need for example. And just like I said, I'll be dividing this abbreviations into three parts so that you easily understand. The first part is my pattern layout, that is maybe the abbreviations that usually come up when drafting patterns, and also body measurements. During body measurements, sometimes it's hard to read body measurements because maybe you're not the one that put down the measurement, and you see some of the abbreviations and be wondering what are they or what are they used for. So in this tutorial, I'm also going to share with you the third one, which is during dart construction, when you're trying to take your dart on your bodies during pattern drafting or cutting. I'm also going to show you bonus, give you some explain some signs and symbols in pattern drafting. So now that I've talked about all of that, so I'm just going to go ahead now and explain each of them, and also use the busybody's pattern as example. Okay, so if you are just joining me, thank you very much. You can just say hello to me, and if you have any question, you can drop your questions. Once I'm done with this, I'll go ahead and answer your questions before I go offline. So the first one here on this here is this CF. CF means here on our pattern you usually see CF. CF means center front. Now this pattern paper is assumed to be on fold, so when you open it up, this will going to be the center. So this CF means center front. Okay, so I'm going to use capital letter throughout so that you'll be able to understand my handwriting easily. So I'm going to just write, this is the full meaning of CF. Sorry, center front. I hope it's clear enough in the camera. I hope it's clear enough. So for the second one, this is CB. So I think it's for CF is center front, then CB is known as center back. So let's assume this is my back bodice. So we're going to assume this is the back bodice, and let's see this back bodice have zipper allowance. So here, even though the back body doesn't have zipper allowance, but once you see CB anywhere on any pattern, in order for you to easily be able to read the pattern, just know that this CB, they are referring to it as center back. So I'm going to go ahead also and write this center back. So I'm going to be using capital letter throughout when I'm writing so that you can easily understand what I'm saying. So now when you see FF on a pattern, it means FF means it should be on fold. The fabric where you're going to transfer your pattern to should be on fold. Now the essence of this work and this tutorial is for you to be able to read pattern. Once you see a pattern, maybe a digital pattern or maybe a pattern sent to you by a pattern drafter, and you see some of these symbols, you'll be wondering, okay, what's this person saying? When you see FF, it means the pattern drafter is trying to tell you that your fabric should be on fold while you're trying to transfer your pattern. Should be on fold and not cut into two. Okay, just like let's assume that I'm trying to transfer these basic bodies into a fabric, and this now, it means my fabric should be on fold and it shouldn't be open. So except if you're trying to do something else at the center front, but normally it shouldn't be open, it should just be on fold. So this means fold fabric. Okay, so this SA, some time ago I got a question from a viewer on my short video, and she asked what is SA. So now SA means sewing allowance. So I just hope I'll be mentioning it, so if you can write it down, you write it down, just in case you don't understand what I'm writing. But I'm going to mention it and also write it down for clarity's sake. So SA means sewing allowance. Why this BP here? Sewing allowance. Okay, so now sewing allowance is the distance between the actual measurement and the measurement you add, the extra allowance, that's the extra inches you add to your fabric in order for you to be able to stitch and turn maybe while sewing. So that extra inches you add is called the sewing allowance. Okay, I have a tutorial on how to draw these basic bodies. I can drop the tutorial for you just in case you are interested, so that you can watch it later. Might drop the link after I'm done. So I'm doing this so that, because of those people who asked me during my pattern drafting tutorials, what are the meaning of this, what's the meaning of these abbreviations. So now I can always refer this video to whoever that is doesn't understand. So now this BP means bust point. Okay, oh, sorry about that, I'm coming. Sorry for the blackout. Okay, so this BP means bust point, and bust point means, I usually use BL while I'm drafting pattern, that's bust line, but you can, is mostly referred to as bust point in pattern drafting. That is the distance between the shoulder and the line where the bust measurement will be. So, and what about this CL also? So this is CL. CL is the distance between the shoulder. Sorry about that. Sorry, my light is having issues, so if it on goes off, I'll have to put it on back. So okay, like I said, this CL now, CL means the distance between the shoulder slant, or should I say the shoulder measurement, to, that's the armhole depth. Here, the distance, that's where you get your CL. CL means in pattern drafting means chest line. Okay. Okay, sorry, I didn't know this is not fully charged, so I might just have to pause this tutorial at some point because of this light issue. If it continues this way, then I'll have to stop and resume later. Then whoever that didn't watch this part will have to, I'll have to refer the person to this point. Okay, so if this light continues this way, I have to stop the live stream. Sorry, this light should go off again. I might have to pause the live stream. Maybe I'll come back to it later. I didn't know all this while what I've been writing is not really showing, but I'm just going to explain again. So this is TF means center front, CB means center back, FF means the fabric should be on fold. Now the essence of this class is for us to be able to interpret pattern, drafted pattern, once we see it. Okay, so I guess my light is not allowing me to do this work the way I should, so I might just have to come back later or whenever it is possible. So let me just give, this is center, CF means center front, CB means center back, FF means the fabric should be on fold. Sorry, I have to go offline now because of the light. I'll come back later. You can always subscribe or come back to this channel to watch the full tutorial. I'll be coming live as soon as I can to complete this tutorial. Thank you for watching so far. See you in my next live or my next video. Bye for now.